The man accused of attempting to assassinate former President Donald Trump while he golfed on September 15th allegedly left behind a letter asking others to finish the job and offered a cash reward to anyone who followed through. Unlike Thomas Matthew Crooks, Ryan Wesley Routh survived his attempt on the former president's life and was taken into custody. Also, unlike the Crooks case, was the paper trail Routh allegedly left behind. Specifically, a note explicitly describing his intent to assassinate a former president and his hopes for further violence should he fail. Routh's alleged letter was released to the public a week after his failed attempt. For CNN, Routh left a box with an unnamed individual that was full of phones, tools, ammunition, and messages, though the person Routh left the package with claims they didn't open it until news broke of the failed assassination. There were reportedly several letters included in the box. As of September 23, 2024, only one has been publicized. In that letter, which is addressed to the world, Routh explicitly states that he meant to kill Trump, but that, quote, "I failed you." He goes on from there to implore anyone else to follow in his footsteps, writing, "Everyone across the globe, from the youngest to the oldest, know that Trump is unfit to be anything, much less a U.S. president." Routh offered $150,000 to anyone who successfully killed Trump.
$150,000. So this is a manifesto.
Routh's life makes for baffling reading. Much of it was passed in good-natured, middle-class obscurity, and his son has insisted to media outlets like the Washington Post that Routh was a good father, but he had numerous run-ins with the law.
I've seen the guns myself and all, but yeah, they had a lot of guns over there and stuff and all, like I said. And a lot of people were afraid of him, I mean, back in the day.
In 2002, he was charged with possessing explosives and concealed weapons, and, in a separate incident, resisting an officer. A move to Hawaii in 2018 seemingly came with a focus on building and nonprofit work, until Routh became obsessed with the Russo-Ukrainian War and traveled to Ukraine with hopes of fighting against Russia. Those who encountered Routh in his European ventures described him as unstable and ineffective, and his voting records and social media activity show confused and often changing support for politicians. Among Routh's shifts was renouncing his support for Donald Trump, whom he claimed to have voted for in 2016. His about-face was so total that, in a self-published screed from 2023, he wrote that the Iranian government had every right to kill Trump for abandoning America's nuclear deal with the country, and that he, Routh, deserved assassination for having once supported Trump. Routh's letter echoed comments he made about Trump's unfitness for office in his self-published book. His apology, addressed to Iran, ended with the ominous statement that, quote, "No one here in the U.S. seems to have the balls to put natural selection to work, or even unnatural selection." Just as he addressed the Iranian government directly in his self-published book, Routh also had words about Iran in his letter. He was contemptuous of Trump's foreign policy in general and only gave him credit for attempting diplomacy with North Korea. But after the Ukrainian conflict, Iran seems to have been a particular sore spot for Routh. He allegedly complained in the letter about Donald Trump's handling of American relations with Iran, writing that the former president, quote, "ended relations with Iran like a child, and now the Middle East has unraveled." Iran has been implicated in its own attempts to assassinate Trump. Earlier in 2024, the U.S. Justice Department charged a Pakistani man, Asif Merchant, with trying to organize just such an attack. And Trump's Secret Service protection was increased following an intelligence report on Iranian intentions against him. There is no evidence at this time to connect Routh or Thomas Matthew Crooks to Iran.